Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. Those of you that are new to my channel, my name is Maria, and today I'll be playing with both of the newly released the NATASHA DENONA Face Glam palettes. They are called the Eye and Cheek Essentials. They come in light and dark. I have played with both of these palettes and both are really beautiful. And today I'll probably put the light one on first and finish with the dark palette. So here is the light one. I'm going to hold this up and it is very reflective. It's like holding up a mirror. So when I hold it up, you'll probably see more of the camera in front of me and possibly even the cowl that I have. So yes, there's my camera and there's my stuffed Highland cowl that I have sitting in front of me as well. But it is really beautiful packaging. This is different to any other type of packaging NATASHA DENONA has put out before. So it is raised here and got the embossing down here. It's really lovely. I just had to move it again because I just about blinded myself because it is just so reflective. But it is really beautiful packaging. So I will open this one up so you can take a look inside. And it has a cream blush and a highlighter. There we are, it's focusing now. Cream blush and a highlighter and 5 shades. They are mattes and metallics. But these perform really, really beautifully. They are just really gorgeous on the eye. And I also love it that here there is a plastic cover to cover the highlighter and the cream blush, so the eyeshadows don't mix in with those products. It's just a really good idea, and she's done it in other products she's released before as well. And here is the dark palette. Really, really beautiful, again with the raised lettering and the embossing as well. These are cruelty free. They are made in Italy. She says they are universal neutral tones. And the two highlighters, the highlighter in each palette, are apparently a brand new formula, but they both perform really, really beautifully. And here is the dark palette inside. Again, another really beautiful palette, and as I said, I've tried these both and I think they both look really stunning. You could even interchange them to change up the look a bit if you wanted to. But as you know, if you've watched a few of my other videos, I just love neutral palettes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to swatch these side by side, each colour, the cream blush and the highlighters on my arm, so you can take a look. One thing she does say on the back of the packaging that it came in is a warning, and it says that the blush is to be used on the cheeks only. So maybe there's something in there that could be irritating to the eyes. I'm not sure. I have quite sensitive eyes, so I'm not going to try it out and see. But I just thought I'd let you know that she does have that warning on the back of her packaging. So we'll start off with the blushes. And this one here is from the light palette, and this one here is from the dark palette. The lighter one is peach coloured, and this is a peach coloured as well, but it has got more pigment and maybe a touch of red in it, but both are really beautiful. These are the highlighters. This is from the light palette. They're both called Star Glow, and this one is from the dark palette. The light one is a very light peach, and this is a peachy tone as well, but would have more gold in it. And here are the eyeshadows. So this one is called In a Corner from the light palette, and this one's also called In a Corner, and that's from the dark palette. These are the shade called Transition. Again, this one is from the light palette and this one is from the dark palette, and these are both mattes. These are the shades called Crease. This is from the light palette and this is from the dark one, and these are both mattes as well. Next is Outer Corner from the light palette and the Outer Corner from the dark palette. And then finally the smoke shades, the smoke shade from the light palette and from the dark palette. Both are mattes. All the shades swatch absolutely beautifully, and as I said, I have tried them and they blend like a dream as well. So I'm starting off with the light palette, and I'm going to take the Rephr number 15 brush, and I'm going to go into the shade called Transition. So I'm going to take the Rephr number 14 brush. I'm going to go into the shade called Crease. Then I'm going to use that same shade with the Rephr number 3 brush and just put some under my lower lash line. I'll go over this with the shade Smoke as well. Now I'm going to take the Sonia G Worker 3 brush and I'm going to go into the shade Smoke and put some on the outer corner and also work it up onto my brow bone as well. Then I'm going to use that same Smoke shade with the Rephr number 3 again and take that my lower lash line as well. Then I'm going to take the Sonia G Soft Definer brush and just soften this out a bit and also bring it up so it joins where I put the dark eyeshadow there as well. Then I'm going to take the Sonia G Builder 3. I'm going to go into the shade Outer Corner. This is one of her metallics. And I'm actually going to put it from the inner corner through to the middle. And then I'm going to take the Sonia G. This is the Flat Definer brush. And I'm going to go into the shade that says Inner Corner. And I want to just lighten it up a bit here. So I did use all my brushes dry, but you can get even more payoff if you use your finger or a damp brush. So with the shade Outer Corner, I'll just put that on my finger and just go over just on the center. And you do get more of a foiled look. And then I don't want to lose that dark shade here, the Smoke shade in the outer corner. So I'm just taking some more with the Rephr number 15 brush, and I'm just going to put a little bit more in each corner. And then to line my upper lash line, I'm actually going to use the Smoke shade from the palette, and this is the Chikuhodo. This is the F08 brush, and I'm going to use this to line my lash line today. So now I'm just going to curl my eyelashes and pop some mascara on. So now I'm going to put on some blush. I'm going to use the Sonia G brush for this. This is from her Fusion set that she put out a little while ago, and this is called the Classic Base. One thing with these blushes, when I first used it, I didn't think there was very much payoff, but you sort of have to get the brush in and break the formula a bit on the top. But it really is a beautiful colour. It's just a very subtle peach colour. And I do build it up a little bit, so I'll put another layer on in a second. You could also try putting it on with your fingers as well. But I love these brushes for putting on cream blush. I think they do a fantastic job. So that is the blush on. I put 2 layers on each cheeks. So you can just do a really sheer wash, or you can build it up. But I love these type of colours, and I think it's really beautiful. And I love the NATASHA Denona cream blush formulas anyway. I think they just go on beautifully, and they last really well during the day too. So now I'm going to put on the Star Glow. This is the highlighter, And how I'm going to put it on is actually with my finger, and then I will buff it in using the Sonia G Smooth Buffer. So you can see the highlight that it gives. It is really beautiful. And the formula feels very creamy and does blend in beautifully, but you can see you get a lot of payoff. Now normally if you've seen my other videos, you know I like a really subtle highlighter. This one can be buffed in, so that's what I'm going to do now. But these aren't chunky in any way. The highlighter goes on beautifully and it does buff out really well too. So now I'm going to pop on some lipstick. This is a BECCA lipstick in the colour Beer, and I bought a backup of this lipstick when I knew that they were no longer going to be making these anymore and they were going out of business, although Smashbox has taken on a few items now. But I think this is a really beautiful colour, and I do love the formula of the BECCA lipsticks. So here is the completed look for look number 1 using the light glam palette, and it is really, really beautiful. Both times I've wore this the day before yesterday and I wore the dark palette yesterday, and both I put them on quite early in the morning and they still looked as good as this 8 or 10 hours later. That is one thing with NATASHA Denona eyeshadows. They don't crease and they look as good hours later as when you first put them on. I think this is really, really beautiful. Now I'm going to be showing you the dark palette soon once I've washed all this off, and you definitely get much more of a dramatic eye look, especially with my light to medium colouring. But they are both beautiful, and you'll see with the other one. But the blush is gorgeous and the highlighter, and I love this colour lipstick with it too. So now I'm going to go and wash all this off, and then I'll be back and I'll put on the dark palette. So now let's get into the dark palette. I'm going to take that Rephr number 15 brush, go into the transition shade. This is a lot darker, so I've only very lightly tapped it into the pan. And I'm going to pop this on and just blend it out just really high onto my brow bone. Then I'm going to take the Rephr number 14 and I'm going to go into the crease shade and just put that through here. These are beautiful deep colours, and I've seen a couple of videos with these used this dark palette on deeper skin tones, and it looks really, really beautiful. Now I'm going to take the Sonia G Worker 3 and I'm going into the smoke shade now, and I'm going to do this look slightly different. I'm going to put a bit on the outer corner, and then I'm going to put that smoke shade on the inner corner as well. Then I'm going to take the Sonia G, this is the Blender Pro, and just blend this out a little bit. And then using the same smoke shade with the Rephr number 3, put some of that on my lower lash line. Then I'm going to use my finger and go into the outer corner shade and pop some of this in the center. I may use the inner corner shade over top as well. I'll just see how this looks. Then I'm going to take the flat definer brush and I am going to go into the inner corner shade and just put a little bit of this in my inner corner here. Then I'm going to go back into the smoke shade using the Chikuhodo, it's the F08 brush, and use this to line my upper lash line. So I've put some mascara on, so now we'll go into the blush using the same brush, the Sonia G one, which is the classic base. This is a deeper cream base than the light one. When I was doing the swatches, it has a little bit of red in it. This is a really beautiful colour, so I'll go a bit easier with this one, but it is really beautiful. And then for the highlight, I'm going to use a brush this time. It's a Chikuhodo. It's the KZ03, the highlighter brush. And see how this applies the highlighter. And even though this is a really soft brush, it lays down still quite a bit of product. So overall, both of these palettes are absolutely stunning. And if you're deciding whether to buy the light palette or the dark one, hopefully this video has helped you make up your mind either way. Or like me, you may want to pick up both. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you next time. Bye.